It's Straight Talk with Dr. Chaz, Prophet. Listen, use a like, and subscribe to find these videos. Try to stick with this one. I think this one is very useful to a lot of people. We're going to talk about health. We'll talk about how to stay healthy. I got the secret to living a healthy life, free from diseases, free from sicknesses and diseases, and free from the hospital. Hospital is the biggest thing. That's the biggest bill you're going to ever get. I know, because I recently got a bill from the hospital. But I didn't. It was the first time me going really to the hospital at the age of 64. Recently. But I wasn't admitted, and there was really nothing wrong with me, nothing to do. But I did go to the hospital. But I never go to the hospital, never had to go to the hospital. I've been living in divine health, and I have some secrets to doing that. Most people have a lot of sicknesses, especially as they get older. They definitely got injuries. I've never had any serious injuries that caused me any serious loss. Matter of fact, I can count everything on one hand. Any time that I've actually been in the hospital, and it's probably been a couple times. One was recently. First time I ever went to the hospital was, I really didn't feel anything, but I was only a teenager, kid in high school, busted me over the head with a buffing bar. Back in the day, we used to have bars that we did rings, metal rings with, and he cracked me over the head a couple times with that. And I went to the hospital and did stitches. It didn't bother me none. I didn't really, that was it. Been to the hospital when I cut my thumb. Practically had to cut my thumb off doing some construction. That was also for some stitches. And I was probably about 30 then. I was young. I might have been in my late 20s. Then I went to the hospital once when I was probably got in an accident a few years ago driving 18-wheeler, and I really wasn't an accident. It was a hurricane picked me up and slammed me down, and I got cramped inside the vehicle and had to go to the hospital, but there wasn't really nothing wrong with me except I hurt my back. But I had already previously hurt my back several years ago when I was young. I hurt my back when I was young. I fell on a job and hurt my back. But I went to the hospital. I didn't go to the hospital. I think I just went to the doctor. They did whatever they did. So other than that, I've been to see a bunch of doctors for certain things, mostly for physical. So that was it. And recently I went to the hospital. So that was all on fire. On one hand, I went to the hospital because I had a lot of pain and I didn't understand what that pain was. I was getting a little older, so I'm like, okay, I don't roll with this. I don't live like this, but I was in a lot of pain. So I went to the hospital, and then I had, just turned out I just had a kidney stone that had to pass. They took me in there like I was dying, ran a bunch of x-rays on me, and took me through CAT scans and took a bunch of blood and different things. Couldn't find nothing. It just cost me an arm and a leg. And they told me I was okay. It was just a kidney stone that had to pass. Kidney stone, I don't know what happened to kidney stone. It just went away, dissolved. He said it could dissolve, but most of the time people pass it, and I didn't even have to pass it. It just dissolved itself. But I found out I just wasn't drinking enough water. I still don't drink enough water. I'm still hard-headed on drinking water. But that was a main thing. So, the secret to never going to the hospital and never being sick. This has been my secret. I'm going to share this with you. Hopefully, this will help some people to not be sick, especially if you're younger. One of the biggest things you got to do in your life is you've got to live healthy. You got to stop. You got to stop doing things that are unhealthy for you, and that is overindulging yourself in drugs and alcohol. I say overindulge yourself because you can have occasional drinks and stuff like that. Drugs is off limits. Been off limits to me my whole life. So I've never done drugs. I mean, I've experimented just to see what it's like. So I've never done drugs. So that's one thing. You got to take care of your body. You got to refrain from all this stuff. You got to cut drugs loose, and you got to limit yourself to alcohol. I haven't engaged in alcohol. I occasionally have wine as well. But you gotta take care of yourself. You gotta do that, and you gotta work out. Now, I've been working out, man, my whole life. So nothing outrageously, just a little jogging on a consistent basis. And you got to do something on a consistent basis. I stretch a lot, and I work out a lot. I'll work out even now at my age to about. I didn't do any workout today, but I'll probably jog for about I'll jog. I dance and jog and praise the Lord, and do a bunch of things and walk. But I haven't been jogging as much lately because I did injure my heel. The heel, because when you jog, you have an impact on your heel. Over the years, my heel became fractured. So now if I jog too much on it, I'll re-injure my heel. So I don't do too much impacting on my heel. I'll still do I'll do several miles, 8 miles. Now I walk a lot longer since I can't jog as much. I'll walk a lot longer. I'll do 8, 10 miles. I'll do whatever I got to do. But yeah, I did go to the doctor for that, for my heel, because I couldn't walk. Couldn't understand why I couldn't walk. That was it. Now, one of the biggest secrets I would say is to maintaining a healthy lifestyle is living a righteous lifestyle. Now, what I mean by that, you got to refrain from sin. Now don't get me wrong. I ain't the most highest righteous person in the world, but when I say refrain from sin, I mean you got to put your life in order. Find you a person that you're compatible with, and continue to live that life with that person, and don't go around with a whole bunch of other persons. Because stress and frustration brings about a lot of sicknesses, believe it or not. So to stay less stressful, you need to be with somebody you're compatible with and continue to live your life with that person and be at peace. So peace gives you. I don't hold anything. When I say do not hold anything, I mean do. If you get upset, now I got a temper, and I have a bad temper my whole life. So if you get mad at somebody, you need to let it go. And I'm good at that. I've been in physical fights with people, and I'm straight in an hour. So I'm good to go. I can talk to them, the whole 9 yards. I can't say what they would feel like, but I'm good. I don't have any problems. I can fall out with you, and in a little while, it's all good. I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to be upset. So I would say that's number one thing. When you are angry and you hold things, I believe they take root in you, and that's a bad situation to be in. And then one of the key elements that I would say to live is learn the Word of God and apply it to your life and operating and living by divine health. I've always confessed divine health. I've always believed that I was healthy, going to maintain healthy, being healthy, confessing that I'm healthy. But I always lived by that principle of God that, I'm not sick. I never will be sick. I take authority over them. And that's a principle that is a God principle. So you have to, fall in the category of serving God to be able to live by that principle of divine health. But I live by divine health, so I don't have any illnesses. I don't have any blood pressure, don't have any diabetes, don't have any problems. Never broke a bone. I did fracture a bone. I had to go to the doctor once. I was hitting a guy. A guy stole from me. Well, he didn't steal from me. He sold me a box of rocks in a TV box, and I got conned on that situation. When I first moved out to Georgia, so I was desperate, so I got excited about that situation. Knew it was out of order, but I did it anyway. So when I ran up on him and caught him, I beat him. Man, I beat this cat bad. When I say I beat him bad, I beat him bad. I hit him so many times, and he balled up, and he was just, he couldn't even fight back. But I'm kind of an expert fighter, so that's not a big issue. But I hit him so hard once, and I could feel myself saying, "Stop hitting this guy." I'm beating him to a pulp. Stop hitting him. And I wouldn't stop hitting him. So I finally hit him one time so hard I could feel that my whole wrist felt like I fractured. I knew I did something. So I hurt myself hitting this cat. And I did fracture it. And I had to get a splint where that for a while. So other than that, that was about it. But you got to live in divine health if you want to be healthy. I'm going to make this a short video. I'm not going to make this a long video. So if you want to, some of you have already did so much wrong for so long that you need healing, you need deliverance, and you need divine healing. At this point, you don't need divine health because you've already messed up so bad. And these are younger people that have abused yourself and abused situations. So you need divine healing. You need a healing. You don't need health. You need divine health. You need a healing. So some cases you will have, but you can still live at this point in your life and operate in divine health. And that is, you have to learn to put your life in order now. And as you line yourself up with these principles that I've given you, take care of yourself. Stop abusing your body. Don't eat a lot of stuff that's unhealthy to eat. I do a lot of fruit, a lot of juicing, eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. I've been doing that, most of my life, juicing. Most of my life I've been juicing. So that's I can't go into my avenue. My daughter just recently told me, "Daddy, you need to make up a juice thing, because I don't see nobody on the internet that juices like you." And the taste is good, and it's so. But I've been doing that, as long as I can remember. I juice, and I don't eat breakfast a lot. I'll juice for my breakfast. I'll put, if I want some protein or some egg in there. But that's my remedy of being healthy. And then of course, you got to line yourself up with God, and you've got to be able to make a positive confession over your body. And you got to believe it and receive it. But you can't get that unless you line up with the principles of God as well, and don't sin. And not sinning brings about God moving on your behalf in relationship to your faith. So if you make that confession of divine health, God is going to honor that confession of divine health, because you have lined yourself up with the principles of God. If you line yourself up with the principles of God, you automatically are guaranteed to receive what you say, or God to give you what you ask for. And that's something I've always asked for. That's something I've always confessed is divine health. So that's something I've always had. So I've always lived in divine health and never had any problems in that area. Now to the day, and I'll be 65 this month. And I thank God for that. And I'll continue to give God all the honor and all the glory and all the praise in relationship to that. So if you want to live in divine health, do that. If you like this video, give me a like, subscribe. I got a lot of good stuff that I can continue to share with you. Okay, above all things, y'all, do the right thing and be blessed.